Hi, I'm Marie. Welcome back to Marie's Kitchen. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are making coffee cake, and this one is so easy. It's one bowl, one spatula, no beaters, no swirling, no layering, none of those things that kind of stress me out. So really is the easiest coffee cake I've ever made. My kids can make it themselves, so keep that in mind if you have some little helpers around. And good news, this one can be made gluten-free. Just sub in cup for cup, measure for measure, gluten-free flour blend for the all-purpose flour. This would make a great holiday breakfast if you have family coming in town. And I know for my own family, I like to have some more savory protein options when I serve something sweet like this. So I'm also gonna show you how to make some very easy, quick and easy egg cups. They go in the oven at the same time with the coffee cake and they're all ready at once. Can't wait to share it with you. Let's get started. Okay, to start, we need 1.5 cups all-purpose flour or your gluten-free flour blend cup for cup substitution. And to that, I'm gonna add 3/4 cup white sugar and then 2.5 teaspoons baking powder. And I should clarify, sometimes I get this question, this coffee cake is like it goes with coffee. It doesn't actually have coffee in it. I know there are some coffee cakes that have coffee actually in the batter, but this coffee cake is more like a tea cake, or they call it a coffee cake, which can be served with coffee or tea. Okay, next is 3/4 teaspoon kosher salt. And that is all the dry ingredients. We're just gonna give that a stir. There we go. Now let's move on to the wet ingredients. For the wet ingredients, we'll need 3/4 cup milk. Next is 1/4 cup of a neutral flavored oil. I usually use light olive oil. It is not like extra virgin olive oil, which has a real grassy flavor. This has just a very neutral flavor, but you could also use canola, vegetable, melted coconut oil, avocado oil, lots of options, whatever you like. I know people have a lot of very specific preferences on their oils. So we're just gonna do 1/4 cup in here. There we go. Then to that, we'll add 1 egg. Then 2 teaspoons vanilla. So this has great vanilla flavor. Okay, next is 1/2 teaspoon almond extract. And I love the flavor of vanilla and almond extract together, but if you don't, you can certainly leave it out. And it's such a small amount, it's really just a hint of extra flavor. Okay, now we'll give that a little whisk here in our measuring cup. And that is ready to add to the dry ingredients. I remember making this one year. We went to visit my brother when he was in college in Chicago. We went up there to visit him, and we went to his house and wanted to make a coffee cake, and they didn't have any measuring cups or measuring spoons, so we had to really wing it. But we made this and it was good. So I'm hesitant to say things are foolproof because, well, but it's basically foolproof. Okay, we'll give that a stir, and that's ready to go. Now for the baking, I'm gonna bake it in this 9-inch round cake pan. I'm just gonna use a little butter to grease that. You can also make it in a square pan, or you can double it and make it in a 9x13 pan. This coffee cake I'm actually making for a neighbor, a very dear neighbor whose mother died last week. And so we're trying to provide some food throughout the week just to help out. They've got 3 boys, and so I know they need lots of stuff to snack on. So that's where this coffee cake is going. All right, we'll add our batter here. Now for this streusel topping, which I think is the best part. I don't know if there's anything better than a streusel topping. I'm gonna use my little mini food processor here. It's a Cuisinart, I love it. It's apparently dirty. But I can put a link in the description box if you're interested in checking it out. I use it for a lot of things. Streusel, for one thing. Also different sauces, chimichurri, pesto, so it's real handy. We'll start with 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. And then 1/4 cup of whatever flour you're using, all-purpose or gluten-free. We're gonna do a little pinch of salt. And then a 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon. I'm gonna give that a quick spin. And now we'll add 3 tablespoons cold butter. Okay, that looks good. You want kind of a sandy texture. Looks great. Now we'll simply sprinkle the streusel on the coffee cake. This travels really well too, so if you're going somewhere for a brunch or a baby shower or something, you need to bring something, this is a great thing to bring, and people always love it. Now this goes in the oven at 375 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, time for the savory portion of our breakfast spread. We're making 3 ingredient egg cups. And I am gonna use a silicone muffin tray here. It is reinforced on the edges, which I love, so you can pick it up and put it right in the oven. Some silicone muffin pans are really wobbly and they scare me every time I use them. So I love to use this one with the reinforced edge, and I will put a link in the description box. Now what we're gonna do is just crack 12 eggs into each of these cups. And the great thing about this dish is that if you wanna only make 6, you can. If you wanna make 4, you can. It's just very simple to modify based on however much you need or want. It's so funny, I just got a comment recently that just said, who do you keep looking at or looking for? And I think maybe she's talking about when I look over in this direction, and it's because I have 2 cameras, and I am the cameraman, so I have to make sure that one's recording, and that one's recording, and that one's focused on this, and that one's focused on this, so I'm always like looking. So hopefully that answers your question. So we have our 12 eggs in our little muffin tray here. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, and you'll notice I did not stir them. Some egg cups you do stir them. These you just do them whole, and they do come out with the egg and white intact. And my neighbor actually said something, she said, you know, my son doesn't like the yolk, so he loves these egg bites because he can just eat around it so easily. So you never know. But they're also just really easy, so I like them just cracked in like this. I'm adding a little salt. And if the yolk breaks, of course, that's fine, but we don't stir it on purpose. Oh, a little pepper. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of heavy cream, and that adds this wonderful richness, but not too much, you know, it's just 2 teaspoons. So 2 teaspoons heavy cream to each one. And you can throw in some, you know, cooked sausage or bacon or cooked veggies if you like, just top those in. And then we'll top with cheese. You can do whatever combination you like. This is just, I think, a Mexican blend. Gouda is really good on these, or even something like Parmesan. While I'm doing this, we'll have a pause for dog. It's always nice to have a little pause for dog. Now these are ready to go in the oven, and I'm gonna cook it with the coffee cake at 375 for about 15 minutes. Okay, sounds like the coffee cake and the egg bites are done, so we're gonna grab them out of the oven. Here are the egg bites and the coffee cake. Gorgeous. And they were done in 30 minutes. Look at that coffee cake, it's beautiful, that streusel on top. So this one I'm gonna let cool, and it's gonna go to my neighbor whose mother passed away. So we're gonna save this one and let it cool. Then real quick for the egg bites, I'll show you how to scoop them out. So in the silicone pan, it's really easy, they just pop right out. If you're using a metal muffin tin, be sure to grease that really well with butter or baking spray, because these can stick in that and you have to kind of work the knife around it. But in the silicone, it should come out real easily. Just use a spoon to grab that guy out of there. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Kind of got some cream and cheese on top and the nice baked egg underneath. So we'll just set these out. You can set them out on a plate like this. And then if you like, for a little color, you can use one of my favorite hacks. It's these freeze-dried chives. I keep these in the refrigerator, and they're just little chopped chives. I never have chives, or when I do, they always go bad. So I like to just have the freeze-dried version, and then you can just add some color real quick. They kind of hydrate as they get warm. I have to dive in and have a taste. Look at one of these kind of messy ones. Oh, look at that, looks so good. Mmm, hot, but delicious. That little bit of cream and the little cheese on top is just enough. It's not like super rich, but it's got great flavor. Mmm. Oh my gosh. Yum. Thanks so much for joining us on Marie's Kitchen. Today we made this easy and delicious one-bowl coffee cake along with our 3-ingredient egg bites, perfect for a holiday breakfast or brunch if you have family in town. I really hope you get to try these. Leave me a comment and let me know if you plan to. If you do, I always love to hear from you. Also, if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It means so much to me and also to YouTube. That's how they decide if anyone else should see this video or see my channel. So hit that like button. It's a little thing, but it means a lot to me. Also, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications. I've got lots more videos coming up, one every week, and I don't want you to miss any of them. For these recipes and more, head over to my website, mariesaba.com. There you can go and print out all my recipes, put them in a notebook, and make your very own Marie's Kitchen cookbook for free. My goal is to give you some really easy recipes that turn out great every time, so you can build some confidence in the kitchen and feel really inspired to share good food with people that you love. From my kitchen to yours, thank you.